Hello there, my name is Harry. I'm in the 8th grade at GLCPS. Today we will be doing a book review on the personal book I chose, The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This book, it was okay. It was definitely better than I had expected at first, because it's a project and the teacher's assigning you a book. But it still was just bleh. It was a weird book because it was kind of every place with the structure, and it was always just like skipping in days. Very few times it was a day and then the next day. It was mainly like a day and then like 3 weeks after that. And if you put the book down, it got really, really, really confusing. At some points, it also just got really repetitive with some days doing the same as the last, which I understand in like the realistic point of view, but it's a book that's fictional, slightly fictional at least. So I mean, I don't know. I found it kind of boring at times. My favorite part of this story was probably at the very end when it told the reader about the main character's Lael and his real life and what actually happened after he got out of the camp. So basically, what happened was the story finished and they stopped with the fiction, and it was just the story that the son told. Um, which sadly enough, I enjoyed more than the story itself. The story was kind of cliche, so it's a nice break from the fiction. The basic plot of the story is obviously about Auschwitz and their prisoners. The prisoner we mainly focus on is prisoner 32407, or Leo Sokolov, and prisoner 34902, Jita. Leo is a businessman who is doing really well in life. He's got money, he's got a huge family, and even says in the story, he has any girl he wants. But he gets taken away from this luxurious life because of the Germans and is taken to Auschwitz. On arrival, he is a construction worker because this was like the very early beginning stages of Auschwitz. So Auschwitz really hadn't been finished yet. So he instantly became a construction worker, but he quickly made friends and friends with not just prisoners but outsiders. He ends up becoming the tattooer. I don't know how to say it in German because I'm not German, but he becomes a tattooer. And he becomes really good at this job, even though he doesn't really enjoy it because you're kind of tattooing people. And the tattooing back then was completely different from how it is now. You kind of poke needles into somebody. Well, I guess that's what you do nowadays, but it wasn't like little tiny needles. It was kind of just jagged metal that they called needles. But one day he's doing the tattooing and he sees this girl and he likes her at like first, what is it, love at first sight? So they end up meeting again and they end up becoming lovers in the concentration camp. They work every day, experiencing the worst of the worst and witnessing the horrible acts of the camp. That's really it for the plot. It's pretty simple. If you enjoy reading realistic fiction and love stories, then I would recommend this book. You may also enjoy this book if you enjoy the Holocaust, since this story is told from Lael's son, Gary, so parts of it is true. In conclusion, the story just really isn't my favorite, and I have read better, but to be fair, my favorite types of books are like fantasy and that kind of stuff, so this is kind of different from what I normally do. But don't be afraid to pick it up just because I said it wasn't great.